First thing you need to do is understand the nature of your mind. This is what I did. I didn't just kind of go, oh, what tips and tricks can I find on YouTube? I actually understood I'm bored. I feel this sense of lack. Why do I feel this constant sense of lack? I realized that this boredom is like a barrier and we try to go through it, but we don't. We resist the barrier. And as long as we are consistently resisting going through this boredom, is for as long as we are going to be essentially having this subtle suffering in our lives. And what everyone is doing is because they don't want to face the boredom, they run away from it. They go close, they run away from it, and people are pretty much literally motivated in their lives not to find happiness, but simply to avoid this boredom. And on the flip side, you could see that as, in another way, looking for a way to remove the boredom through activities, states of mind, and relationships. So, with that being said, we need to understand why this resistance is there and what it is. This is synonymous with understanding the nature of our mind. The nature of our mind, if we were to look at it, is made of awareness. There's nothing in our mind that we can experience that we can take away or separate from awareness. So if you were to look and observe a thought, what is there to the experience of your mind? There's thought and there's perception. Now, without going into objects, I want you to completely eradicate any other experience other than what you're directly experiencing. No concepts, no ideas. You know nothing right now, like you were a newborn infant. Now, in your direct experience, all you should be experiencing is what is actually happening. And you notice that all there are perceptions, sight, smell, sounds, hear. You don't know what you're seeing or hearing. You just know that there is some type of perception, and you know that there is thinking. So let's go to the perceptions. You can't take awareness away from a perception, and you can't take awareness away from a thought. And you also can't take a thought away from awareness. Can you think a thought outside of awareness? No, of course not. So what we're doing is we're recognizing, firstly, that the nature of our mind is awareness. And notice this, that awareness is you. You are that awareness. You're not witnessing your awareness, you are the awareness. You're not somebody else going, I have awareness. Then who is the somebody else saying that they have awareness, like awareness is an object? There is no such thing. You are the aware aspect of your experience, and you give rise to the experience of your mind. So this is a very quick pathway to understand and recognize the nature of our mind. The nature of our mind is consciousness. And the nature of consciousness is where we're going to go next. It's the nature of being alive. The second thing I did was I spent as much time exploring that as I possibly could. I did nothing else other than realize that if every single ounce of my experience is trying to run away from this sense of lack and this boredom, why is that? And then I look at everybody else, and everybody else is doing the same thing. Why is everyone, not just a few people, everyone, obviously, regardless of a couple of people who, inevitably taught me everything I know, how is 99% of people, why are they running from it? What are they running from? What are they trying to find? It was interesting to me. I found interest in that exploration, and I found interest in understanding the nature of my mind, and I didn't stop for a second. 100% focus, undoubtedly. For me, it was life or death. I should probably add that. For me, it was life or death, and I could share my story in I've shared my story in other YouTube videos, but this, for me, was life or death. So I spent nothing other than understanding that. Now, I'm not saying you have to be as extreme as I was. Ideally, my path was extreme, so other people don't have to have an extreme path. When I say about exploring the nature of our mind, exploring the nature of our experience, just like we just did in that small exploration. The third thing is I now wanted to make pure awareness obvious. Pure awareness. I was exploring the nature of my experience, and I realized that I'm awareness, and I realized that this awareness has no limitations. It has no qualities. It's not an object. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't move anywhere. It's permanent. It's constantly on, and it's constantly free from the experiences that take place. In the same way that right now, the screen on your phone or your computer is free from the image that takes place on it. Likewise, awareness is exactly the same. It's a pure, raw experiencing factor of experience that is free from the experience that it's having. So I realized that awareness isn't bored. Awareness isn't unhappy. Awareness doesn't feel lack. Awareness experiences the boredom, the lack, and the suffering. So I realized that what I essentially am actually has no limitation and it has no boundary and it does not suffer. So I realized what I am doesn't suffer, yet I somehow experience suffering. This doesn't make sense to me. What the fuck is going on? Why am I experiencing suffering if I know that by nature what I am doesn't suffer? So the final step was that I realized this and I removed anything that took me away from that. Anything that made me mistake what it meant to be alive, I just took it out of my experience. How did I do that? By going back to step 2. I did nothing but explore my experience. I kept on exploring the truth about it. So I realized that I have to base my truth on my own direct experience. That's the only thing I can trust. And it's the only thing anyone can trust is the truth of their own experience. So I realized that, okay, what is preventing me from, why am I still getting suffering? Why am I still getting bored? Why am I still, it's because, and this is something that my teacher taught me. I came to his session one day and I asked him the question. It appears that there's just this hint of lack. And I honestly just don't know. I have traveled the world for 13 months in search of a teacher. I have done psychedelics, all these worldly approaches, and I have something miss. I honestly just come to the conclusion the other day. I just have no idea. I do not know what else to do. Or what to even ask.
Okay.
I don't.
Your question is implicit in what you said already. You said, I do not know what to do. And about this residual sense of lack. And your statement, I do not know what to do, betrays the fact that you still want to do something about it.
Mm.
And what do you want to do about it? You want to get rid of it.
Mm.
That is the problem. It is not the sense of lack itself that is the problem. It is the desire to get rid of it. And as you say, you have traveled the world trying everything possible to get rid of it. The one thing you have not yet tried is not trying to get rid of it. You understand, I know that you understand and feel that you are essentially the presence of awareness. So take your stand, or be knowingly the presence of awareness. Feel, understand, but also feel you are this open, empty, allowing space of awareness, and turn towards this residual sense of lack and say to it out loud in a simple, innocent, childish way. Say it, I have spent years traveling around the world using conventional means and less conventional means and spiritual means and all possible means to get rid of you. And I just have not managed to get rid of you. So now I'm going to do the one thing that I have never done. I'm going to invite you in. I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to welcome you. I'm going to, in fact, I'm not going to invite you in for dinner. You can come and lodge with me. You can have a room in the house. You don't have to pay rent. You can stay as long as you can stay forever if you want. That's it.
And I never look back. I never look back. I never experienced lack or that boredom again. And since then,